We are what? We are who? We are what? Vibrant. We are who? 50 plus. Hi, welcome to Gray Lives on the Rise. I am your host, Professor Jamila Franklin, and we are coming to you from Oyende Enterprises, being sponsored by Jamila Sense, which is our product line of aromatherapy products that helps heal the mind, body, and soul. And we are bringing to you Alamaj's rebirthing program, as well as Jamila Sense, and a host of wonderful programs that will help heal your body, heal your soul, and heal your mind. 50 plus people, we are here to stay. Gray Lives on the Rise. We are what? We are who? We are vibrant, and we are here to stay. Join us for our wonderful episodes. Thank you, and continue to look for our episodes weekly, being brought to you again from Oyende Enterprises and Jamila Sense. See you soon. Greetings, everyone. Hi, how are you? This is Professor Jamila Franklin, and we have another wonderful episode of Gray Lives on the Rise. The title of this podcast is Moment by Moment, Thriving, Not Surviving, From Stress to Strength. Love that, love that. Okay, Pam's bio. Pam is a person in long-time recovery, which means to her 27 years in recovery from substance misuse, traumas, and mental health challenges. She has been training for as long as she can remember with the goal of teaching skills that empower herself and others to thrive at work and life. She is a certified peer specialist, addictive diseases and mental health, and what feels like a life, like she's done it in a previous life. She obtained an MBA in international business, studying in Mexico, and met her wonderful husband. They have been married for 37 years, and they have 3 adult children, a son-in-law, and 1 precious granddaughter. She is an avid outdoor person, loves camping, hiking, boogie boarding, backcountry, skiing, biking, and grounding on this earth daily. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce the wonderful Pam Brooks-Crump. And she had an event recently. Oh my goodness, I went to it. Even though we had the Hurricane Helena, she still had a very, very, very impressive number of people who came out. I was one of them, driving in the rain. I told Pam I'm coming. I'm definitely coming. It was amazing. She had workshops. I was in the drumming workshop. Drumming. She had something with people who wanted to draw in color. Then she had one for people who want to do journaling. She's just so amazing and creative. So I am now turning it over to wonderful Pam so she can tell you more about her journey and her story and how amazing her life is.
All right. Hey, Jamila, it is great to be here. I am resting from the event. It really was beautiful, and
Yeah,
we have a good crowd in spite of the hurricane. And I do
yeah.
appreciate everybody getting through the rain to get there. So that was awesome. Yes, so like you read, I am a person in long-term recovery, and 27 years of recovery, which means to me,
That's
um,
wonderful.
thank you, thank you. I'm really grateful for all of the people that have helped me along the way. And I can tell you this, that wellness is so important to my recovery, has
Yeah,
always been, because it is about mind, body, and soul, mind, body, and spirit, because um, they're all attached. Okay. So,
yeah,
so we might as well look at all of them, because if we don't, we're going to miss out on puzzle pieces that we could know. And so it has been utmost of importance to me that I do my own work. I do my
Yes.
own work because, Jamila, I want to show up in the world. I want to show up in the world. I want to come into a room and I want for it to lift the room. I don't want to
Yeah.
suck the air out of the room and the energy out of the room. And so in order to do that, I have to do my own work, which
Right.
everybody has all kind of different ways that, we're all different. And so what has been really, really important to me is meditation. There's
Mm.
data
Mhm.
out there, and I know I'm singing to the choir with you, but others may not know. There is data out there that shows that meditation is as good for people with anxiety and depression as medication. As
Mhm.
good, as good, and in
Mhm.
some cases even better because there's no side effects from it.
Exactly.
So, I am all for no side effects, okay? I don't tell anybody what they need to do for their own, that everybody has to decide about medication and not medication. But for me, I really wanted to listen to my body and
Right.
my mind and my spirit, and
Right.
when you talked about a little while ago about, getting the downloads from spirit, if I do not do my work, I
Mhm.
do not hear. Some people call it intuition. Some
Mhm.
people call it Yahweh, divine,
Mhm.
Jesus, whatever
Mhm.
you call it, my higher self,
Right.
source. And I know one thing, if I do not do my own work, I do not hear that.
Right.
Yeah. And
That's so, but you've been very, I've known you for well over 10 years. I've known
right,
you for what, about 15 years?
right, somewhere
I,
in there.
I think
So,
about 15 years. Yeah.
yep.
But but you've been very intuitive, Pam, and very fluid in how you move about. And I love that. It's kind of like you listen to spirit and you always acknowledge spirit and nature. And that's where the monarch comes in terms of your book, The
Right.
Butterfly, Beautiful Monarch, and in terms of your symbol. It's like your brand. And it's just
Right.
amazing. And
Yeah.
you just tap into the energies around you and you always leave a space different than when you came than when you entered it. And I admire that about you. It's just and you never for you have never met a stranger.
This
It's
is
like when you meet someone, it's like, hey girl,
that's right.
hey girl. You've
That's
never met a stranger. You have never met a stranger, you
that is
know.
so true. That is so true. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I just feel I really have appreciation that and I think Jamila, it is when we've had gone through rough things,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
um, I've gone through rough things, and traumas, and like most of us have, like
yeah,
most of us have, and
yeah.
and I had sexual abuse as a child,
Mm,
uh, and I can tell you from those traumas, the brain does not develop in the same way,
yeah,
that
that's true. That's
as
true.
when you have safety, and when you have
Yeah,
safety and you have, you're not having to be on alert.
right,
And so it's not uncommon at all to go to have mental health or substance misuse,
right.
when you've had traumas, especially childhood traumas. And
So may I ask
yeah.
how young were you when the sexual trauma started?
Jamila, I believe I was a baby.
Oh no,
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
really?
yep.
Oh
And
my goodness, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
till I was probably about 6 years old. And it is, I went through my path, and not feeling comfortable in my own skin,
Mm-hmm.
mental health challenges, different addictions, and addictions that some I even got praised for, because it was like, oh, you're so thin. Oh, isn't that so great? I mean, I just
Mm-hmm.
not eating, over exercising,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got into
Mm-hmm.
substance misuse. And it was a way to self-medicate.
Right.
It was a
Right.
way to self-medicate. And it what is amazing too about my story is that, I went to, I was a 4-year gym varsity gymnast in high school.
Wow.
But what ultimately happened was that the addiction was more important than the team. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it was very hard for me to accept the kindness and love of that coach.
Mm-hmm.
It just was not something. I didn't trust people. I
Yeah.
didn't trust people. But my upbringing was a mixed bag. There was a lot of fun. There was a lot of I have just always been about having fun, and I'm grateful for that. And I lost some of that during the addiction, and some of the alcohol and drugs, and trying to find love in all the wrong places. But when I was about 33 years old, my sister Donna, who you know as well, um,
Mm-hmm.
she broke the chains. She broke the chains. She said she had the courage to bring up something that we had kept as secrets from each other, from anybody, all
Mm.
of our
So you
lives.
both were experiencing similar sexual
Exactly.
abuse, but no
Yep.
one was talking. But that's what the abuser does.
That's right.
Usually he or she would threaten you and
Right.
say, if you talk, I will kill you and your family. I mean, they're very manipulative. They borderline psychotic, but they know how to keep the abuse a secret.
Right.
Keep
Well, it was
kept
until I
check.
was 33, and she came to me and said, I want to share something with you, and did this happen to you too? And
Mm.
that changed my life. That changed.
Wow.
I mean, I really, although I did not, took me a couple of years to get completely abstinence from drugs and alcohol, because for me that's what I needed for my recovery. But
Right.
um, I was no longer alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew that I was no longer alone. And it gives me chills to every time I mention it, because we can be that person to people. We
Yeah.
can be that person that changes somebody's life by holding
Exactly.
the space for them and having courage to have the difficult
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
And I can tell you this, Jamila, the feelers, we are the healers.
Yes.
Healers
Yes.
are the healers. We who
Yes.
feel deeply are not
Yes.
allowing ourselves to numb, to,
Yes.
oh, just status quo. It's okay. No, no, no. I felt it so deeply. And I am just so grateful that she came along, my sister, who had always been, my best friend. Um, but we just had never talked about it before then. But after then, that's when my recovery began. Like I
Did you
said,
share it with your family? Did you share it with your
I
parents, your
did.
mom?
I did many years later. It took a long time. It really,
Mm.
really took a long time. And it really did. I mean, it was interesting how that works. But this particular family member has passed, but he was an award-winning principal. He was
Wow.
a, a Sunday school teacher. He was, and everybody, even to this day, people like, oh, your grandfather was so great, da, 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 da. And I remember, I I last year I was representing 800,000 people in Georgia as an ambassador for recovery, and I was on
Wow.
billboard, 3 billboards, you know.
Well, Pam, yeah, I saw that. I saw Donna pointing up to the billboard. I said, "Go, Pam! That's
Yes,
amazing."
yes, and it was
Yeah,
Donna and me and my husband.
I saw her paint. Yeah, I saw Donna pointing up. I saw it on Facebook. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was, and I
Eight
really
hundred thousand, almost a million people. Oh, wow.
Georgia out of, I think, I don't know what the total population is, but I think, is it 8 million? So close. I mean, it's a tenth of the people in the state are in recovery,
Wow.
you know,
Wow.
and and in order to do that, you know, I've been out loud about my recovery now for a long time, but they also had an app. They reached 100,000 people on these apps, and they, what they did is they interviewed us, and they put our story into a 3 minute. They interviewed us for an hour, and then they,
Hmm.
cut it down,
Condensed
and
it. Hmm.
they did an incredible job. But I was like, oh my gosh, some of my family, you know, like, I was like, I had to take a breath, but I was like, this is the truth.
Yeah.
This is the truth. This is
Yeah.
the truth, will set you free. We'll set them free. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, and you put people up on pedestals, the only place they can calm down is they're going to fall down. If you
Yeah,
put people
that's true.
up,
If you
they'll
put them
fall.
up on pedestals, that's very
Right,
true.
right. We're all
Yeah.
just on even playing field here, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and
That's
so
very true.
yeah, but you know, so that
But I
um
have to take this time here to commend you. That was very brave of Donna, whom I know, well, your sister, and very brave of you. Because a lot of times, even though you know what the truth is in terms of these family secrets, there's a saying someone says, you are as sick as your secrets.
exactly.
And I've told people, that family, I my thing is family can be toxic and
Mhm.
family can be healing. I
Right,
don't believe all family members are sane. I don't believe all family members are healthy. And I
right,
think that we have to stop with those myths about just because someone is in your family
right,
that they are exempt from being called out. Because
right,
if they hurt and abuse people, it's like a stranger to me. They are not to be honored, revered, respected on any level. They are to be exposed because as long as you keep that secret, they will continue to hurt other people. So,
exactly.
and a lot of the people have been abused. You probably know the statistics by family members because strangers you're aware of. You're on your
Right,
guard about strangers more. But with family members, you're trusting. And I've heard of some of my friends, the stories are not very, they're not pleasant at all. The parents trusted these people and they ended
right,
up molesting and raping their children. And some
right,
of those people have not talked about it and exposed it to the family because one, they don't know how, and two, they want to keep this person revered. I said, no, you are as sick as your secrets.
that's
That
so
needs to be exposed because children do not need to be exposed to pedophiles and to predators. I don't
right,
believe in that. So if
exactly.
it's a family member, I don't care. If it's a minister, ministers have done it, people in the clergy have done it,
Sure,
and we're finding all these things out now that people have been holding on to secrets that needed to have been exposed.
exactly.
So I commend you. I commend you and Donna for having the
Thank-
courage
Yeah,
to talk about it.
yep, yep, exactly. It is it did take some courage, but I'm so grateful. You know, I am really so grateful. And you know, being in recovery is what I had to have on my resume in order to become a certified peer specialist in mental health and a certified peer specialist addictive diseases. So Jamila, that thing that I thought was the worst part of my life was the thing that had to be on my resume to get
Mm,
my job. And I worked 7 years with Georgia Mental Health Consumer Network as the trauma informed care project coordinator and trainer, and trained
mm,
1,500 people in the state of Georgia in trauma-informed
Wow.
care. Yeah.
1,500. Congratulations, Pam.
Yes. And
That's
it
amazing.
is such incredible work, and I will be forever grateful to Georgia Mental Health. And last year, I decided it was time that I went out on my own. And as I was as I was thinking about, Jamila, what did I want to call this company? And I was like, I had been trained in the community resiliency model. And I was like, I'm building this company around building resiliency for individuals and for communities. How do we build up? How do we lift up? How do we strengthen? How do we come back from difficult things? Because, they're definitely if it's life, we're gonna have difficulties sometimes. And how do we respond to those? And
Right.
so I Googled, or I said to Siri, what's a good symbol for resiliency? And the first thing she said was monarchs. And
Really?
I was like, oh my goodness. So I mean,
Really?
it was a spirit connection thing, because as you mentioned before, my book that I wrote when I first met you in 2010 or 11, I had just published my ageless picture book.
Right.
He inspired a caterpillar at a crossroad, which is the story about the amazing transformation of monarch butterflies, because I had studied in Mexico and I had seen the monarchs come in there. And it's an absolute, it's like you can't even see when you're in your car because there's so many, and you have to drive. There's like speed limit is 5 kilometers per hour. And so you have to just so you don't
It's
damage.
a swarming everywhere.
And they're just amazing. But so that's how my company got its name, and it's Monarch Transformation Trainings. And what I wanted to talk about here is, I mean, y'all got the backstory for me. It is about bouncing back. It is
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
we have. Oh, Siri, be quiet. She heard me talking about her. It is about, when I started off, I said that wellness was so important to me, and showing
Exactly.
up is so important to me. So
Yes.
I, about 2 years ago, learned about the community resiliency model. And last May, I decided that I had to get the certification. And I'm a certified community resiliency model trainer. And it is given by the Trauma Resource Institute. And we did a 40-hour training and another 20 hours to get the certification finished up. And but 2 years ago, I was exposed to this in a training. And once you take a training, you are a guide. They want you to get it out there, because the community resiliency model, they've taken to 100 countries. They have
Wow.
data from 3 years old to 103. And Jamila, no, doesn't matter if you are literate or not, you can learn how to read your own nervous system.
Wow.
And Jamila, it took my already really good recovery. I mean, what you said about me is true. I do show up. I show
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
way,
You do.
uh,
You do.
because it's important.
You're very, very, very authentic. You do show up. Yeah.
I do,
Yeah,
and
you
I
do.
did my work. And
Mm-hmm.
and then what this did for me was it provided an in the moment response, because
Mm-hmm.
I cannot always go and take a bath and have beautiful candles and put some of Jamila's essential oils into my bath. No, I can't,
Yeah,
sometimes
that's true.
I'm sitting with a client. I'm sitting with somebody that's come to me for support, you know,
Right.
and
Mm-hmm.
as a frontline worker, coaches, social workers, caretakers, doctors, nurses, lawyers, you know, we're all frontline workers, you know, first
Right.
responders, you know, police
Right.
and firefighters. And so you don't always have the ability to go to do your self-care. But do your
Right.
self-care, you know, on a daily basis. I do that, and I'm suggesting that to everybody. And what this added is ways that we can learn to read our own nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
I want to tell you about it, can I?
Oh, sure, sure.
Okay, excellent. So, so we're going about our day, right? And
Mm-hmm.
there is a zone, and we call it the resiliency zone. So when I first got into my recovery, my resiliency zone was pretty flat. You know, I could get bumped out easily. But as I have increased um, my personal um, wellness, right? My whatever that is for everybody, you know, meditation, taking baths. What do you do for your body? What do you do for
Mm-hmm.
your relationships? What do you do for your
Walking, yeah, exercising, yeah,
exercising? What do you do for
yeah,
your food? What do you do? You know, all of that package of stuff. What do you do for your community? And for most people,
exactly.
what do you do for your, you know, what is your spirituality? And for most people, and there's a lot of research on all those things that I have mentioned, because those are what, you know, 100,000 people have been surveyed about what makes them happy, what makes
Mm-hmm.
them healthy, and all of those things. So that's a part of my wellness. But
Mm-hmm.
what this added is, okay, so we have our resiliency zone. It grew. Thank you. So I don't bounce out. But so if when I'm in my resiliency zone right here, during the day, I can be mad, sad, glad, and scared. You know, those are just the feelings, normal, everyday feelings. And I can stay in my zone, and I am making good decisions for my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can make
Mm-hmm.
good decisions for my life. I can show up in my life, in my daily life, and have a pretty good day, right? But
Mm-hmm.
so we have our zone, and then what happens is, say I am on 285 if you're in Atlanta, and that's the loop. If you're not on, you know, it's a highway, six, you know, 5 lanes, 4 to 5 lanes
Mm-hmm.
each
One
way
more in each direction.
in each
Mm-hmm.
direction. And
Mm-hmm.
somebody inevitably, if you're it pulls in on you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Atlanta.
right,
Atlanta traffic. Yeah.
traffic, right. And so, you
It's
know,
typical.
this is your
Yeah.
stop. And then this is like a lightning bolt that comes in, ah, somebody
Mm-hmm.
just pulled over on me, and your heartbeat would go up because maybe you had to swerve, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and you might sweat a little. You could feel the tension in your body, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
your stomach even might hurt, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so these are normal reactions from your body, right? Your body tells you you have bounced out of your zone. And so, okay, so what you want to do is come back in. But what
Mm-hmm.
we often do if we're in toxic stress, maybe the kids were somebody forgot their lunch this morning before you got on 285. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
your husband didn't, put the toilet seat down, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so then we have this thing and I bounce out. Okay. I bounce out. And so if I do not catch that, what happens? The cortisol starts going and the
Mm-hmm.
adrenaline, and then it goes through your body and biology takes over. Okay. This is biology.
Mm-hmm.
This is not, just bad behavior. This is biology. And what happens? I bounced out now, Jamila. The body has taken over because the cortisol's going. And then I am at the back part of my brain I have flipped my lid. I'm no longer at the frontal cortex where we make intellectual decisions. And I
The
just keep stuff real
prefrontal cortex.
right. I keep this real simple because I am not a brain surgeon at all, and I got to, keep it simple for me. But this is science. This is
Yeah,
science.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so I have flipped my lid. I am back here in the survival part of my brain. And so then I might just stay out, might stay in anxiety, I might stay in anger, I might stay in
Mm-hmm.
fear. So if I'm in anxiety, I'm like, oh God, oh my goodness. And then I'm not
Yeah,
making good decisions as a driver,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm no longer making good decisions because I'm back here. Or I could be angry and I could shoot them a sign with my hand, and start
Mm-hmm.
cussing at them. So I am staying out of the zone here, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then if
Mm-hmm.
I stay there, okay, and then I am not safe on the road.
Yeah.
And then I go into work and say my boss walks by me and he doesn't say anything. He doesn't say he or she doesn't say good morning or whatever. And if I'm out here and I'm in that survival part of my brain, I might start saying things like, that SOB doesn't care about me. I might,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm in
Mm-hmm.
fear, I might go, oh my God, I'm probably gonna get fired. He doesn't like me. He probably doesn't like that work that I did yesterday. Or
Mm-hmm.
if I'm angry, I might be, I might in my mind cuss him out, or might,
Mm-hmm.
might say something right directly. Who knows? Then Jamila, I'm still out. And then it's time for me to see somebody who has come to me for support. And do you think that I
And you're
can
still
connect?
spiraling. Yeah,
Right.
you're still spiraling.
And do you think that I can really connect in the heart when
No,
I'm out here?
no.
I might do my checklist, and so for people that are frontline workers, for people that are with children, for people who are in relationships, it does not
Yeah.
matter. It does not matter. When I stay out, then I am in that survival part of the brain, and then I can switch from anxiety, up here, anger, fear, and pain, physical pain,
Mm-hmm.
to below that zone, which is sadness, depression, no energy, uh, and numbness.
Mm-hmm.
And this is all
Mm-hmm.
biology from the cortisol and the adrenaline. And I get into that survival part of the brain. And so
Mm-hmm.
what this does is give you some skills that you can teach 3-year olds or all the way up to 103. um,
Mm-hmm.
so I'd like to tell y'all about a free app that the Trauma Resource Institute puts out.
Mm-hmm.
It is always free. That they don't sell your information, none of that kind of stuff. It's called I Chill. I
I chill.
yeah,
Chill.
I like I am,
Mm-hmm.
I, and then
Mm-hmm.
CHILL, and it's for Android or any other phone and Apple. You go to your store. You can also, if you wanted to do it on your computer, you can do that, ichillapp.com. And while we're giving out web addresses, my web address is Monarch Transformation
Oh
Training.
yeah, I definitely want you to tell people
Yeah,
about your
yes,
businesses, how they can get in touch with you.
yes, Monarch Transformation trainings.com. And my name
Right,
is
Pam, spell it out for people.
Monarch, Monarch, all together, transformation, Transformation,
Mm-hmm.
trainings, trainings.com. I know that's a mouthful. Monarch Transformation Trainings.com. So, but there are skills that you can learn, they're all based on the first skill is tracking, and you use tracking for all of the other skills, but tracking
Mhm.
is feeling what's happening in your body. And
Mhm.
if you're used to, if you're a dancer, or if you are, there's an athlete, certain type of people are really into their body and they feel this, but the
Right.
body gives you indication that you are going out of that.
Right.
And we're all going to bounce out sometimes. I mean,
Mhm.
it's just, we're not robots, we're going to bounce out. But then that's okay, you bounce back in, but it's the
Mhm.
toxic stress that keeps us out here in the high zone
Spiraling.
and
Mhm.
or in the low zone spiraling, so
So with
but
this app, Pam,
yeah,
does this app gives you skills to
right,
help you recenter, to come back into the heart center
right,
and
right,
to be in alignment with
exactly.
that
And
energy with the heart center. And
exactly,
keeps you from staying out, because everyone, I tell people emotions are energy in motion. They're normal, they're natural, that's okay. But they let you know when you feel unheard or violated, like anger. Anger is very necessary because it lets you know that you have allowed someone into your space and they are not respecting and honoring you. But to live there, some people pull up a couch and a bed and they just live in anger. They
right,
live in stress.
right,
That's who they have decided to be. So with
right,
this app then is giving people coping skills when they're in outside of this zone. That's a
resilient,
healthy zone when they start spiraling, because you know when you're spiraling. When they start spiraling, then they can use this app
exactly.
to
Well, it is.
to provide them with some options.
Exactly. And it is about learning some skills. And like when I describe what on the 285, so your heart would start beating, like you would feel it. Your blood pressure goes up. You,
Right.
you might start sweating, and then the reverse of that is like, if we just took a minute, right? 1 minute, can we just take 1 minute to do a little one of the
One of
uh
the exercises, sure.
yeah,
We have about 15 minutes. Yeah, we
okay.
can do that. Okay. You
All
want me
right.
to be your candidate?
Yes, I do. You
Okay.
please.
I'm free. I'm available. I'm free. I'm
Okay.
available.
Awesome. So, first of all, the tracking, I want you to think about, we can, if you want to close your eyes, you can. We always
Mhm.
suggest things because some people don't like to close their eyes. And we
Mhm.
also don't, we suggest, just pay attention to your breathing, because some people don't, it can be activating to say, take a deep breath. So I just,
Mhm.
we're very trauma informed. And so if you want to close your eyes, you can. If you don't,
Mhm.
that's fine. And just what I want you to do is to feel, one of the skills is grounding. So let's
Mhm.
just feel, where our feet are on the floor.
Mhm.
Some people can ground standing up. You could ground laying down. You could ground sitting. I'm sitting. We're sitting, so that's fine. Feel your feet on the floor, and then just pay attention to your breath. And if you want to take a deeper breath, great. If not, that's fine. Just pay attention to your breath. See if you can feel in your body as we're quiet here. Do you feel any part of your body relaxing a bit? You feel your shoulders coming down, maybe?
Mhm.
Do you feel your back supported on the chair?
Mhm.
Your feet supported on the floor?
Mhm.
And your legs, the back of your legs and your bottom? supported, your back supported. And I just would like you to, just like you were a sniffing dog, sniffing out, going through your body, and scope out where you might feel pleasant, neutral, or there might be places that you might feel unpleasant. If you feel a place that's unpleasant, you can acknowledge that, but go ahead from that until you find a place that feels neutral or pleasant. And sometimes just this taking a quiet space to feel your body supported. I notice that I'm feeling very relaxed. I feel very relaxed with Jamila anyway, so that's lovely.
Really, I was like going into a meditative state,
Mhm.
very calm.
Right.
Mm,
And so we can come back now and to
mm,
open your eyes if they were closed, if you want.
yeah.
And so what
May I just say something? That was a very quick but effective way to get centered and grounded, because I think sometimes people think that they have to sit in a cross-legged lotus position and have incense burning and sage burning. I do all of that, right? But that's not necessary. You can do this in your car before you go to work. You can do this
exactly,
after a meeting, just getting grounded. Because a
exactly.
lot of times we take on all that stress from people around us and we allow it to go into our bodies. This is
Mhm.
one thing, one quick story I want to share, it could be a minute or less. One of my favorite people on this planet, who's just a beautiful spirit and beautiful soul, didn't release the stress. And when she transitioned, she had so many diseases. I said, because they were bottled up in her body. And that was Tina Turner. Tina
Mm.
had liver disease, she had cancer, she had a stroke. And she was an avid uh, person who read different spiritual books and also meditated. But I tell people, just you're doing it by yourself, you need to have someone like you to talk to, someone like me to talk to, because holding on that stress in can kill you. And she
Yeah.
was the epitome of a person that everyone looked up to and thought she had it all together. She had $250 million or whatever, but it literally ate her up alive. She died with multiple diseases. Yeah. So I tell people, you have to release it. You
You do.
can't go around as if it's not affecting you, because your body is a litmus test. It will let you know.
It
It will
will.
let you know, and all of her organs started to shut down.
Oh,
So I tell people, you have to. What you're doing now in terms of resiliency program for the online workers, the frontline workers, they need that. I mean, they're constantly being barraged by criticism and by people who are ill and unhealthy. They need a place of respite where they can just come and just relax and just be. And you
right.
offer that. I saw that at the workshop. You offer that program.
Yes.
So wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
I saw
you.
that. It was, and I
Yeah.
was drumming. Yeah, you
Oh,
offered. So, and it was a safe space where they don't have to be like you and me. People come to us for
right.
all the answers, right? And
Right.
we need to have a space that
Exactly.
we can go to,
Exactly.
and people whom we trust
Yes.
to unload. So I
Hmm.
think that the workshops, the program that you offer, is the resiliency is so important. You cannot be resilient if you've not released your own stuff. And like you said, do your own work. A lot of people think that they don't have to do their work, and they do. Everybody has to do his or her work. They have to go deeper. Some people don't think that they have to. And I see it in their bodies. I see it in the way in which they interact. I see it in the auric field. I see it. So it's important for us to take time and take care of ourselves. Oprah
Right.
has 4 life coaches.
Wow.
Everybody, Wayne Dyer, before he transitioned, Louise Hay, everybody has someone to go to who is in an important role, and you provide that safe space. And this exercise, as uncomplicated as it is, because people think that it has to be all this complication. No, it doesn't. You just need to
No,
get still.
no.
Just get still. That's all you have to do.
Yes. And this there's 6 skills, and we don't have time to go all on, go in deep on all of them, but tracking is one, grounding, which we did,
Yeah.
reinforcing, gesturing, and help now. And I'll just tell you a story about help now. This was I had gone to visit my granddaughter. I had just learned about these skills, and just had downloaded the iChill. And I spent 2 months with my granddaughter when she was born up in Michigan, and we bonded. Okay, I mean, like imprinted bonded. All right. I mean, I
Mhm.
every day at 4:30 in the morning was the time that I fed her, and during the day we all took turns. Her husband, Marcus, took the late night shift, and Andy did up to that. Anyway, 4:30 was my time. So we would, she and I'd feed her, and she was 6 weeks early. She was 4 pounds. I mean, and so it took
Mm.
ever to drink that bottle, right?
Mhm.
So we would sit there, and I love doing Wim Hof breathing. Wim Hof, if you're the audience isn't familiar, look him up, WIMHOF. He has this special breathing that I do every day, and I take a cold shower every day, which he recommends. And
Mhm.
everybody has to
I'm
figure out.
moving into that. I said, cold shower. Oh no. I'll do hot and then I'll turn it down to cold. And I'm like, okay, I can do that.
Right, right. That's good too. That's fine too. So but anyway, so I'd feed her, and then I'd say, Scarlett, it's time to do our Wim Hof breathing. So Jamila, every morning for 2 months, she and I'd be like, doing my breathing. And then after doing 30 of those, you hold your breath anyway. And then by then she was asleep, but she and I can't even explain. I just can't.
Mm.
So then it came time for me to leave. So I had to give you the backstory because of that yumminess with her and I, and the breathing.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. And so it was time for me to leave. And I had rented a car to go back to Detroit they live in Lansing. So I said, I'm going to get a car because they were both exhausted as new parents, whatever. And so I went from Lansing to Detroit. Well, I get in the car, and, I'm a crier anyway, but, and it's perfectly normal that you would cry, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I adore my daughter. I adore my son-in-law, and I just can't even words cannot explain my granddaughter Scarlett. So I'm crying. Well, then I'm normal crying. Then I am not normal crying. Okay, and I'm really not. And so I realized that I am out of my zone. Okay.
Right,
I have
right.
gotten so sad. So I am down here in the so sad, I am out of my zone. And I was
Mhm.
like, I mean, boo-hooing. And I couldn't pull over because I had to get to the airport, and the whole bit. I mean, I guess I could have if it got that bad, but I was like, oh my gosh, I remember what I need to do. And they have one of the skills is called help now.
Mhm.
So help now is when you really cannot think at all, so you can't even think about some of the other grounding or resourcing, bringing in some great memories or great people that you connect with into your head. I can't do any of that. I'm just already in this help, back of the brain. I need some help. So
Mhm.
one of the things is grabbing hold of something or pushing down on a desk, pushing down on a table or pushing your back up against the refrigerator. Like you can have toddlers, learn this. So I grabbed the steering wheel, 10 and 2, really
Mm-hmm.
grabbed it. I have the I push my feet through the into the floorboard because I had on the auto control, and so I am pushing with my feet. I'm just grabbing as tight as I can, feeling that pleather underneath my hands, feeling the heat from the car, from the heater in the car. And I'm not kidding, Jamila. In 30 seconds, I was no longer, I was a little bit like that for about a minute, but I went from sobbing to calming down to completely calm. And I tell you why, because the blood that it takes to get into your big muscles came
Mm-hmm.
to my brain, which gave me a pause. So I
Mm-hmm.
was able to biologically, this is biology, I was able to get back from the fight or flight survival brain
Survival.
into
Mm-hmm.
my frontal cortex because it gave me a space because the blood needed to go to my legs and my arms. So this was freaking amazing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I am not kidding. I mean, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I needed help now. And that was one of the skills. And I,
And you find this with the iChill, this on the app.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be doing a virtual training, 6 hour over the weekend and at night, because this is just giving people who work during the day the opportunity to be able to get this training. And you can,
When is it, Pam? Because we're coming to a close. When is the training?
yeah,
And people can get in touch with you through the website as
right,
well. Okay,
right.
so when
So
is the training?
the training, there are 2 to choose from for the remainder of this year, and that is October 12th and 13th, which is over a weekend. Will be 3 hours in the morning on Saturday and 3 hours on the evening on Sunday. And then
Mm-hmm.
December 2nd, the evening of Monday, December 2nd, 5 to 8, and Thursday, December 5th, 5 to 8. And if you go to my website, which again is Monarch Transformation Trainings, and then it will come up. There's a pop-up that says, are you interested about this training?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see all the other stuff we have there too. We have packages
Yeah.
for corporate and for organizations.
Mm.
And we're going to
So
do
you're doing corporate
retreats.
trainings now.
Yeah, corporate trainings and retreats and organizations, because this information will help employees to not burn out, to
Yeah.
be overwhelmed,
Yeah.
and people, anybody, that we learned anybody can learn to read their own nervous system. And you can get the free app. You can come to trainings, virtual trainings with me. You can come to, we'll have another one like we did in Decatur at the Solarium. I don't know when the next one's going to be, but we will most definitely be doing those. And we'll be doing some private ones with organizations as well, but we're going to have another one like we did that was open. And it is just, this is information that I know people use this word a lot, 2 words, game changer, but it was a game changer for me, Jamila.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a
No.
game changer.
I think what was really good is we did an experiential exercise with me in terms of having me sit through that so people could experience it and see it with me. And that's what's really good because we can talk about it and it's theoretical. until it becomes an experience, an experiential. I'm really into experiential things. So by your talking about it and having me go through it in a simulated exercise, I think is wonderful. But we run out of time, my beloved sister from another mother and another father. And
Goodness, how did we do that?
I know. It's always so good. As you say, yummy, yummy. What piece of nugget or what nuggets would you desire to leave with this amazing audience that we have, the 50 plus Gray Lives on the Rise people who, and the community is just growing exponentially. It's just amazing. So what would you like to share with them?
I want to tell you that
In 2 minutes or less.
Okay. I am 62. I'll be 63. And I did not learn how to read my nervous system until I was 60. So anybody can do this, and what it does for you is, and it's done for me, is allowed me to recognize when I'm in stress and sooner recognize that I can do things right in the moment, and that helps my mind, that helps my body, that helps my soul. And what I want to do with this beautiful, beautiful part of my life is learn something new every year. This year, I want to learn to surf. Last year, I learned how to backcountry ski, where you go up, you put these sleeves, they call them on skis, and you go up, and then you come skiing, you take those sleeves off, and you come skiing down virgin snow. I mean, we're not declining. We are divining.
Oh, definitely.
We are divining. And
we're rising.
we are Gray Lives on the rise. And I'm telling you, it is it's a beautiful time of life, and
it really is.
We are wise, and we are gorgeous, and we are fun.
I think so. I know so.
No, listen, I'm looking at you. You're gorgeous.
Thank you. I'm just a mirror reflection of you, darling. A mirror
inside and out. So that's what I want to say. Let's keep on. And if we take care of our mind, body, and our spirit, we can continue to rise.
Yes.
We can continue to thrive, Jamila. Thrive. I'm not here to just survive. I'm talking about I'm living it. I'm living till the last breath is in me. I am living it, thriving.
Yes, and I am too. And on that note, beautiful soul, thank you so very much. I adore you, adore you, adore you. You're just amazing. And I am saying namaste to you. And everyone, please check out Pam Brooks-Crump on her wonderful website and see all the wonderful things that she's doing. And check out iChill, the app that she mentioned that's free. Free. You can have these tools in your toolbox. So until the next time, beloveds, I say, be well. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Gray Lives on the Rise, being brought to you by Jamila Scents, which is the product line of Oyende Enterprises. Jamila Scents is a 100% natural aromatherapy line that heals the mind, body, and soul. This episode of Gray Lives on the Rise was intended to uplift you, to inspire you, and to motivate you. Please tell all of your friends, family members, and anyone you know who's 50 plus, who's living a vibrant life and interested in doing more and enjoying life even to its fullest. So thank you, and please subscribe, like, and comment on this video and all our videos. Thank you, and until next time, until our next podcast, namaste and be well.